Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Morehart, and today our learning target is to look at how to change fractions into decimals. If you watched my earlier video about tenths, I was talking about hoping to have 10 different rings. Didn't happen, so now I'm going for 100. Why not? Go for broke, right? So I just want you to take a look at the hundredths chart that I have up here. You could create your own if you want after this, right? Have a little fun with it. Use a ruler and make sure it's all nice and even. And basically what we could do is we could say that this is taking us into the hundredths place value. So I just want you to take a look and see what's going to happen if I do a little bit of coloring on here. And I'm going to take my nice pretty blue marker and go like that. And we're just going to imagine that those are all blue. And over here I'm going to put 9. Next 9. Actually, I'll go for 12. Why not? Go for 12 that are pink. And if we take a look at this, we're going to say, well, my goodness, how are we going to change this into a fraction and then into a decimal? So why don't we say that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are blue. We've got our 12 that are pink. And all together, 6 and 12 would give us 18. Let's put it here. We've got 18 out of 100. Because there's 100 little pieces here, right? So if I had 18 out of 100, I want you to think back to what 1 out of 10 was like as a fraction. So it looked like that. And then when we changed it to a decimal, it was 0.1. Remembering that the 0 is sitting to the left of the decimal, and as soon as you have parts, you're to the right of the decimal, okay? But now we're out of 100. So that's kind of cool, right? So what is 18 over 100 going to look like as a decimal? Well, we're going to go like this. We're putting our 0. We're putting our decimal. The 1 is going to go into the tenths place value. And the 8 has to go into the hundredths place value. So that's going to be 0.18. Let's move on a little bit further, and I'm going to color in a few more to make them blue. And you can try this on your own at home. So once I've got my 6 blue there, and maybe I'm going to do another 6 blue here. And we're going to just say, well, gee, what fraction of this hundredths chart are blue? All right, so we had our 2, 4, 6 here. We've got another 2, 4, 6 there. 6 plus 6 is 12. So we've got 12 out of 100. And remembering that we are going to write this as a decimal using our 0 first. Our decimal, our parts that we have will be here. The 1 has to sit in the tenths place value, and the 2 has to go into the hundredths place value. Right? So we could do lots of different combinations here. What if I were to now take and join these two up? So maybe I'll add on a few more pinks just for a little fun. And maybe I'll make them kind of like that. I'm going to color them in a little bit so you can see. Maybe I'm going to put another pink one up here. So you can have fun with these hundredths charts if you make one. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we're going to take a look at all our pinks. And I have still my 3, 6, 9, 12 there. I've got another 2, 4, 5. 12 plus 5, 17. And then I've got 2, 4 right here. So 17 plus 4 is going to be our 21. So now we've got 21 out of 100. And we're going to write that as a decimal. We're going to remember our 0. That's where the ones place is. And we don't have a whole one, do we? We don't have 100. We wish we had 100, getting back to the rings, right? We wish we had them, but we don't. So we have to have a 0 there. We don't have one whole decimal, and then we had a 2 in the tenths place and the 1 in the hundredths, like that. Okay, so have a little bit of fun. Maybe you can make your own chart, use different colors, see what you can come up with, and play around with changing a fraction out of 100 to a decimal. Oh, but there might be one other little part that you could go to. I wonder what that would be. So I wonder if you can figure this out. If percent means out of 100, then, and this would be where we'd have like a drum roll, you know, da-da-da-da, right? Then 12 out of 100 equals 0.12, which would equal, 12%. And we could look up here and we could see 21 out of 100, which was 0.21, can also equal 21%. And if we look up here, our 18 over 100, which is 0.18, is also 18%. So when you're working with numbers, think about words that you know, like mom, mother, mama, dad, daddy, father. They all mean the same thing. They're just different ways of understanding the same idea, right? So 18 out of 100 means exactly the same thing as 0.18, means the same thing as 18%. It's just different ways of talking about the same number. Anyway, hopefully you understood this. Hopefully you can draw yourself a hundreds chart and give it a try and talk to me about it in your individual time. Okay, bye for now, boys and girls.